8 points in one single NCAA game. Let that sink in for a second there. Gavin McKenna didn't just have a good Friday night, he put the entire hockey world on notice and could have very well ended the debate for the 2026 first overall pick. We've been tracking this kid for a while, but what he did at Penn State is absolutely record-shattering. With the Vancouver Canucks currently holding the best odds to land that number one slot, we have to talk about why McKenna isn't just a prospect, he is the absolute priority for the Vancouver Canucks. Penn State hosted Ohio State this past Friday, and it was an absolute bloodbath. An 11-4 win where Gavin McKenna was the engine for almost everything. He finished the night with 1 goal and 7 assists, 8 points. He started early, chipping in on both first period goals, including scoring his own just 10 minutes into the first period. But the second period was the explosion. 6 goals for Penn State, and McKenna had the primary or secondary assist on 4 of them. He would cap it off with 2 more in the third period. He didn't just break the school record for points in a game, which was 5, by the way. He absolutely freaking obliterated it. Let's take a look at his stat line from that game in particular, just in case you guys don't believe me. We're talking about the February 20th game right here. Ohio State, 11-4 win. Like I said, 1 goal, 7 assists, 8 points. And this number over here, 7, that was how many shots he had in the game. So absolutely insane. So yeah, I'm not blowing smoke up your guys' butts. This actually happened. Gavin McKenna, an 8-point night against Ohio State. Now you're probably wondering, why does this matter so much right now, at least when it pertains to the Vancouver Canucks? Well, earlier this season, there were actually whispers people were looking at Keaton Vierhoff or Ivar Stenberg, especially after Stenberg's massive performance leading Sweden to the gold at the World Juniors. I was even really high on Stenberg myself based off of his World Juniors performance, and I guess you could say McKenna's lack of performance. And hang on, I say lack of because McKenna only had 14 points in 7 games. I know what you're probably thinking, like, whoa, that's still pretty freaking good. I say only because the expectations were so high that people actually questioned his floor. People were expecting more from him during the World Juniors, and they just didn't get it. They figured he would absolutely, obliterate the World Juniors. No. But if you look at the NCAA production, at least nowadays, after a slightly slower start, which yes, he did have a slow start to his NCAA career, but he's sitting at 41 points in 27 games. He has since skyrocketed from 11th in NCAA scoring to 2nd after that 8-point game, trailing only Ethan Weidenbach. He's proving that he can dominate older, stronger competition in the NCAA just as easily as he did in the WHL with Medicine Hat. Now, this brings us back to our latest video that we put out where we asked, can Elias Pettersson ever get back to 100 points? We talked about how PD needs a specific type of winger to unlock that elite ceiling again. Gavin McKenna is that player. He can easily unlock PD, at least I think in my opinion. I know some might think, oh, what about Stenberg? They're both Swedish. I thought that too at one point, but we've also heard the rumors. I know they're kind of like bygone rumors by now of the whole, Pettersson doesn't get along with the Sedins. That's still kind of coursing through people's minds, and the fact that he didn't, that even was a topic that was brought up, makes you wonder if he will actually even work well with another Swede. Granted, he has with Niels Höglander, he's got the chemistry with him, but we've yet to see Höglander be on that first line with PD and right now Höglander's injured. So we can't really guarantee that. But if you put a guy like Gavin McKenna on PD's wing, perhaps that might be the spark that we talked about in that video when we talked about, Jaromir Jagr and how him going to the Rangers kind of lit a spark. Perhaps getting a player like Gavin McKenna might be the spark that helps Elias Pettersson get back to that 100-point player. But getting back to Gavin McKenna, If the lottery balls fall in Vancouver's favor, McKenna isn't just a nice to have cherry on top. He's a franchise-altering piece. We're talking about a kid who put up 129 points in 56 games in the WHL. He has the vision, the finishing, and now the proven ability to drive a high-octane offense at the collegiate level. The buzz in the comments is reaching a fever pitch. While some fans are still debating between McKenna and a guy like Stenberg for playoff grit, the overwhelming consensus is that the Canucks need to commit to building around a new core if they land this pick. Many of you have pointed out that if Vancouver is serious about a rebuild, landing a talent like McKenna is the only logical path forward. We discussed the split in our McKenna versus Stenberg debate video, which you guys can check out just up here at the top. There's a split in the community with some leaning towards Stenberg's style, but McKenna's recent 8-point explosion is making it very hard to argue against his skill ceiling. And hey, maybe always had McKenna pegged as the guy, despite what we saw during the World Juniors. And that's totally fine, because if you look at his, numbers, just general, you can see from here, 43 points, 28 games, 13 goals, 30 assists, 4 power play goals, 2 game-winning goals, and this one really stands out to me. 123 shots in 28 games. Like, the guy shoots. The guy absolutely rips it. That's something this Vancouver Canucks team really needs, a guy who can just shoot the damn puck. Something we've talked about at length when it comes to Elias Pettersson. I hate to bring it up, but it's true. I'm not quite sure what these conference year-by-year summary is. I assume it's, teams within their conference. I'm not as well adept at, college hockey, although I could probably ask my wife. She might actually know since she actually went to Penn State. But as you can see there, 93 shots in the conference year-by-year summary, 1 game-winning goal, 2 power play goals, 33 points, so 10 points less. And this is only 8 games less, 10 goals, 23 assists. But those are the year-by-year summaries for Gavin McKenna at Penn State. Now, the 2026 draft is still a way off, but the gap between McKenna and the field is widening, especially if McKenna has any more 8-point performances in a single game. He could very well do this again before the end of the season. If he keeps his pace up, there is no debate he is the indisputable first overall pick. But I want to hear from you. Does an 8-point night in the NCAA cement it for you? Or are you still worried about his game translating to the NHL playoffs? Let me know down in the comment section down in the comments below. I'd like to end this by thanking the sponsors of this video, starting off with Gassy Jack Art, maker of that artwork you see there, and you guys can check them out yourselves at GassyJackArt.com. Also, I'd like to thank DraftKings Sportsbook, which is an official sports betting partner of the NHL. DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL, is built for the fastest game on ice. With player props and live betting, every shift, every shot, every save gives you options to get in on the game with DraftKings Sportsbook. New customers bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THPN, that's code THPN, to turn $5 into $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas, wager tax pass-through may apply in Illinois, 21 plus in most states. Void in Ontario, restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets, which will expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. This is a limited time offer. Copyright 2026 NHL, all rights reserved. This video has been a presentation of both DraftKings Sportsbook as well as the Hockey Podcast Network. Be sure to check out the network for your favorite podcast covering your favorite team at thehockeypodcastnetwork.com, the home of hockey podcasts, where it's every team, everywhere. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to The Line Change for more daily coverage as we, of course, continue to count down towards the trade deadline. Also, Be sure to have your notifications turned on so you don't miss more in-depth analysis of your Vancouver Canucks. Once again, drop your comments down below. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys on the next line change.